Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hello and welcome to Storyboard. This is Shibani Gharat. This weekend we are celebrating Raksha Bandhan across the country, and Mondelez, which is celebrating 70th year for its brand Dairy Milk in India, is leaving no stone unturned to make the most out of this occasion. Just like every year, the brand has launched a TVC around Rakhi, in which they are also communicating their new brand platform, Kuch Acha Ho Jaye, Kuch Meetha Ho Jaye. But along with that, there is a twist in the tale as far as celebrations packaging is concerned. We caught up with Anil Viswanathan, Director Marketing Chocolates, Mondelez India, and Abhishek Ahluwalia, e-commerce lead, Mondelez India, to find out what is the thought that goes behind creating the celebrations pack, which are specially designed for the grand Indian festive season. Let's take a look. Festive season is here and we are celebrating Raksha Bandhan this weekend, a brand that has owned this festival or this day for many years, let's say even decades. And we are right here in the middle of all the action at Mondelez office, and with me is Anil Viswanathan and Abhishek Ahluwalia. Both of you, welcome to Storyboard.
Thanks for having us, Shibani.
As I said, you guys have owned Raksha Bandhan for so many years. I must begin this interaction by sharing an anecdote. Every year, whenever I used to get that box of celebrations on Raksha Bandhan, I used to be elated, like really delighted to see that box full of chocolates. There was something about its packaging that was enticing. So we'll get on to marketing around Raksha Bandhan, but I first want to understand from you guys, what is the thought that goes behind packaging a pack of celebrations for the festive season?
So, Shibani, I think as you rightly said, we've been growing gifting in the festivals for a very long time. Not only chocolates, but packaged gifting. And it's been part of our long journey of category leadership. We figured out that growing in gifting and growing in the festivals is definitely a way of getting into people's homes. And for us to get into people's homes, underlying that was our core strategy of chasing meetha and the traditional sweets, and positioning chocolates as a modern alternative to traditional sweets. So as part of that strategy, we realized that a large amount of sweet consumption and gifting of course happens during festivals. And then the idea was to take inspiration from them. So really the mithai box that used to come home was the original inspiration. And the whole spin was to bring in the heritage of our brands, the brand colors, the brand livery, and present the mithai box in a contemporary way.
I remember getting that first box of celebrations, and it was something else as what compared to what I see it up in stores today. How has been the evolution so far, and what has really changed in the whole packaging?
We've tried to modernize it. We've tried to ensure that we provide assortment to people across price points, across different mix of products, because we have a wide bundle to offer, right? So that we are offering all kinds of price points, and we know that different people give differently depending on whom they're gifting to. So there's a gifter and a giftee. And we just ensure that we've segmented the market. So if you were to gift to your inner circle, you possibly choose something that's a bit more special. So we have things like pralines and our silk gift packs, which are customized for that. And then you want to gift in a wider to your outer circle, maybe your business colleagues or social friends. You have your assortment packs. So really having the right pack for you to choose from, depending on who we want to gift to, has been one clear kind of anchor. The other big anchor, of course, has been the occasion. So we customize for Rakhi, we customize for Valentine's Day, we customize for Diwali. So that's been the way we've tried to, staying contemporary to that occasion is also very important, because the consumer looks for that kind of a hook.
Abhishek, last year you added the e-commerce twist to the whole celebration story. Right. How has that worked so far? And this year you are in fact personalizing the whole offering. So tell us what made you personalize celebrations.
So, one of our key strategies is to win in single market, single item destinations, which is marketplaces, which is suitable for gifting, right? given the fact that we have leadership in chocolate category, and chocolates, the way we are looking at gifting is essentially price point. So anything which is sub 1,000 rupees is, whether it is mithai, whether it is, even flowers for that matter, is gifting, right? We launched on last year with a partner with Amazon and set up a chocolate and sweet store, which was first of its kind, which did exceptionally well. We traded conventional gift packs, mass customized gift packs suitable to an occasion. And this year we've really taken the bar higher by bringing personalization element, which is available on our website, cadburygifting.in, where essentially a gifter can personalize by writing a message, uploading a picture, adding a merchandise also, which is possible, and and delivering it to the giftee. So and again, as what Anil also mentioned, it's basically bang on to the occasion. So the props we add, the digital augmentation which we do is basis that particular occasion. It fits in very well.
Also with personalization, I wanted to ask and understand is you get a lot of consumer insights on what really consumer is uploading, what is the message,
Right.
what is the consumer need. Can you share those insights with us?
Two insights that come to mind. You typically think that the only gift that happens during Rakhi is from the brother to the sister. What we don't know is actually there's also a gift that comes from the sister to the brother. And the reverse gifting is as big. You might recount to some tales that you would have bought for your brother. So that's one of the things we activated. So there's a gift and there's a return gift as well. Simple insight that kind of unlocked. The second simple unlock is anybody could give a gift, but the most fundamental part of the gift is the emotion that's involved in the gifting. And that emotion is where we are stronger than anybody else. We are unbeatable there. And personalization just adds that level of emotion.
What are the communication channels that you're using for this?
So for personalization, it is digital. Because that's where the audience is, moving, and it's very seamless, right? So you're on Facebook, you're scrolling, and suddenly there is Raksha Bandhan. There is an ad which reminds that Raksha Bandhan is on the corner. Do you want to, personalize, Cadbury gift hamper to your sibling, right? Bang on, you click, you get redirected to a website, you personalize and done, right? So I think it's digital first in this particular initiative. So you would have your likes of Facebook, Instagram, where we are advertising. And we're seeing good traction, and the campaign just went, digital campaign went just up about a couple of weeks back, and I think it's doing really well.
Okay, so moving on from Raksha Bandhan, a very promising festive season is staring at us. What are your plans for the festive season, and what are the campaigns that we'll see around the festive season?
I'll take a step back to say that the festive season is also kind of linked with a strategic change that we're making on our mothership brand, flagship brand, which is Cadbury Dairy Milk. And this year we've begun on a journey. It's a global journey, and the global journey is towards a new proposition called generosity. Festivals is the time that we'd love to be most generous. So there's a natural link from Cadbury Dairy Milk into Cadbury Celebrations. So what you're seeing this year is again a fundamental switch of saying we're almost seeing a single campaign, which is all under the umbrella of kuch acha ho jaye, kuch meetha ho jaye.
All right, thank you so much, and all the best for the festive season.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. Role of strategy and strategic planning in an agency setup has evolved over the past few years. Digital and social are great contributors for this shift. So what are these big changes? We find out as we catch up with Ben Richards, Worldwide Chief Strategy Officer, Ogilvy, along with Prem Narayan, Chief Strategy Officer, Ogilvy, India. Let's take a look at this conversation. Ben, Prem, welcome to Storyboard.
Thank you, Shabani.
Ben, I heard this is only your second time in India. So what brings you to India?
Well, it's partly to get advice from Prem and Piyush on cricket after England were hammered in the third test on Wednesday. And it's partly to spend time with our fantastic clients and teams, particularly helping those teams with the latest tools and technology and training to help make brands matter at every level. I think one of the most shocking takeaways from the Indian market was that in the Indian market it's perceived that we do TV advertising, and that's our offering. When in fact well over 1,000 people in India, actually well over half of our of our people here are actually not involved with anything that's a kind of a million miles from TV advertising, data, marketing technology, social care, all sorts of aspects of the sales, marketing and comms mix that go way beyond TV ads that are necessary but not sufficient to build mass brands.
Ben, from you, I want to understand how has the role of strategy changed for a creative powerhouse like Ogilvy over the past few years?
Well, I think 10 years ago, you might perceive a lot of the strategy work within Ogilvy as being somewhat dominated by advertising, perhaps in a slightly more kind of classical sense. But in reality, the majority of our work, even then, moved far beyond across the whole sales, marketing and comms mix, across every kind of behavior, experience and expression. And actually, even looking at a market like India, winter has not come for advertising, but spring has come for digital and e-commerce. And as I look at my strategy community of about 1,500 people, they're involved with everything from helping clients build relationships in Washington, DC or Westminster, through to writing a CEO speech for someone to give at the UN, through to helping with shopper marketing, experiential, and increasingly a large number of digital experience platforms which they're either building or they're helping clients extract more value from their tech stack. So it's a vast range of things devoted to making brands matter at every level, every audience, every interaction, every time horizon.
Earlier global strategies used to happen across market, but that has really changed. So in such a scenario, how do you help navigate a global brand across markets?
Well, I think actually customization now is much more than just geography. It's actually frequently customization second by second, minute by minute, customer by customer. So knowing that we need to serve Prem with a delicious piece of content around pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks, that the customization is much more than US or India. However, I mean, I'm privileged to chair the global category at the FIs, so I see a lot of highly global work, and I think certainly in terms of platform ideas, it spans two extremes. At one extreme, you have a brand like Dove, where Real Beauty has a kind of really transformative platform idea that's grown their brand by 5 times over the last 14 years. I'm very proud of that. That's very pervasive across multiple markets, and while it's interpreted a little bit differently according to local markets, that's very recognizably similar across multiple markets. But then at the other extreme, you've got something like Vodafone, where there's kind of freedom within a framework. But Prem, that's kind of very, very tailored to the Indian market.
Yeah, so for example, for Vodafone, we still build on the platform and the spirit of Futures Exciting Ready. But what we did with it is to make it relevant and more emotionally connecting to the Indian audience. So you would have all seen the Asha Bala campaign. We took 2 of them, but then we did products like Diabetic Cure, which is more relevant to the Indian audience. We did international roaming, while it may have been a little more IoT kind of stuff abroad. On the other hand, you have something like Mondelez, which is generosity is their global platform, but we interpret it in a manner that that emotionally resonates with the Indian audience. So if you'd seen the Two Brothers campaign, it's our take on generosity, and it connects quite deeply with us because it also builds on Cadbury's India legacy, which has always been about sharing. So that's how we kind of play that.
Staying on the same note, increased in revenue pressures and pressure of numbers has forced many brands to localize their strategies, which may or may not be in sync with the global platform. So how do you justify a seamless experience, or make a seamless experience, brand experience across platforms in such, across markets in such a scenario?
Well, I think the seamlessness of experience is actually much less something that is a geographical problem, so much as a data and marketing technology problem. So, for example, for a large airline that we're privileged to have won recently, most of our work is done around getting a really seamless, wonderful, easy booking experience. That's how you get to seamless experience, by deeply knowing that customer and giving them a kind of fantastic experience, and so they can get what they want. Similarly, in India, 200 million people in India are able to tweet a complaint, and also not just social platforms, at Vodafone, and our people within, on average, 15 minutes now, are able to ticket that, provide the data and analytics around that, and in partnership with Vodafone, get a response back and a resolution back to customers. Greatly increase customer satisfaction scores. And that's about personalization. That's not about knowing the country, although that's a component of it. It's about knowing the customer, and increasingly that's where most of our strategies start.
Ben, you were one of the youngest global chief strategy officers, like worldwide chief strategy officer.
Yes.
So tell us, what are the qualities that a chief strategy officer should possess in today's day and age?
And I think deep resilience, a kind of relentless sense of curiosity, and a kind of huge respect for the nuances of local markets. I think you have to be at once.
But hasn't that been true for generations?
I think it has. I don't think the qualities have necessarily changed, other than what I stressed at the beginning, which is that being good at, quote, advertising won't get you very far if you are genuinely looking to build a brand at every level. Transformative advertising will do a piece, but you have to be a deep expert in data and marketing technology, in PR and influence, in consumer promotion and shopper marketing. These things are relatively new skills for some strategy leaders. They've been growing hugely over the last decade. So I'd say that's the thing that is most significant in terms of what's changed and in terms of what's important.
So, but Prem, you just took over as a Chief Strategy Officer for Ogilvy India in February. What has really changed for you, as in terms of the role, and what has really changed for the agency over the past few months? 6 months, to be precise?
Yeah, 6 months. So what's changed? I work a lot harder. So the first thing that's changed for me is I do multiple markets now. I used to largely do Bombay, Mumbai, and then now I do Bangalore and Delhi. So that's the first change. But that apart, just to add to Ben's point, I think while there is so much complexity, I think clients want a single person who can simplify things for them. And I think strategy's role is to understand the complexity and yet simplify it to deliver results across all the multiple interactions that people have with brands. And it comes down to just understanding what are the simple insights that consumers face when they interact with the brand at these touch points. And what's changed, what we're trying to do, and part of the reason Ben is here is so that he can train us in some of these things, that we know some of these things very well and we don't know some of these things very well. And what we're essentially trying to do is to get everybody to understand all of it and yet be able to simplify it and deliver it to clients so that there is a single message and a single brand that they experience, and not that one experience is very different from the other across multiple touch points.
So you mentioned a very interesting thing. Your job is to understand the complexity and make it simple for your clients. But we live in a very fragmented world where a brand doesn't have a single window of understanding what really is the consumer feedback or the way in which consumer is behaving. Also, with so much of data around us, a lot of data still exists in its own silos. How do you navigate through this situation, and how do you create a strategy, probably pinpointing those larger big trends and making it easier and solving that complexity for your client?
Well, it's certainly true that fragmentation has radically changed marketing and how you build brands. And I think there's sort of two approaches to this. One is extremely dangerous and one is hugely successful. The hugely dangerous approach is imagining that just because you've got fantastic data and marketing technology and the ability to hyper-target Prem with a lovely pumpkin spice latte offer, that you should. So it's great to have really, really good interactions with customers, but just because you're able to hyper-target someone, perhaps even relentlessly, that doesn't get to necessarily make you like them. And in fact, what we're seeing for a lot of clients is tactics eating brands. This ability to produce vast numbers of tactics, actually far from building brands, is sometimes breaking them. And I think at the other extreme, you're seeing people understand the ability to take this fragmentation and very straightforwardly build it together, simplify it, and into three spaces. How are we going to make the brand matter right now? How are we going to make the brand matter next quarter? How are we going to make the brand matter for years? And Pulse, program, and platform ideas are brilliant at bringing together complexity. There's nothing more unifying, we think, than an idea. and short, medium and long-term ideas, pulse program and platform ideas are absolutely key to how we're navigating this for our clients.
Moving on, it is time for this week's notice board. Yes Bank recently unveiled a 360-degree campaign for its savings account, current account and fixed deposits by offering a savings account rate of 6% and paperless fixed deposits. The campaign positions Yes Bank's retail banking products as tools for those who want to fast-track their growth in life. Let's take a look at the campaign.
Our brand positioning, which is called as India Bole Yes, which really means that India today is saying yes to progress, yes to positive changes, and yes to a better tomorrow than it is today. So that's really the backdrop of where we are in terms of the brand campaign and the genesis of that. And this specific campaign really takes off on that insight of the brand, the positivity, and India as a country moving ahead.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon.